Hey folks, Chef Ted Cutting here. Just want to let you know today is a great day because we are making Dakgalbi, which in English is spicy braised chicken. This is a Korean dish which has so much flavor. And it's not just the flavor, it's the heat. You see, most cultures that have a lot of hot, spicy foods, and a lot of the Asian cultures have this, is because of the fact that it helped fill their stomach. Now, back in the day when they were making the food, I'm certain they didn't know this, but what happens with very hot food is that the stomach engorges and the lining tightens, and so what happens is you get this feeling of fullness. A lot of diet supplements and pills of this day contain things like pepper, chili, paprika, hot pepper flakes, and pepper paste. These things are all found a lot in the Korean cooking. And today we're going to be using a number of Korean ingredients. Some brand names I'd like to mention right now will be our hot pepper sauce, which is pronounced sungchang gochujang. And the soy sauce, which we'll be using, is just plainly made as ganjang. And it's the two ingredients that I'm choosing brand recognition for this recipe because it really does make a difference. Natural brewed soy sauce is almost like making a fine wine. And what I mean by that is you're looking at how a fermentation process takes place versus anything we use with technology to hurry that process up. Are very meticulous about using a very good starter to ferment their soy sauce naturally. And this process takes 2 to 3 months prior to them actually yielding the product. So naturally brewed is the way to go. Red chili pepper paste, that, my friends, is just an amazing product. If your taste buds can take the heat, the flavor that you get just by tasting that paste is amazing. So when we put this in our recipe today, I'm sure you'll see that it's worth going out of your way to find these products. So, without further ado, I give you spicy braised chicken. And so, welcome to my kitchen. I'm going to walk you through the ingredients so that you can see exactly how we use them and some of the tools I use. This right here is our green onions. This right here is a serrano pepper, but you can use green chilies. It's the same thing. This right here is my brown sugar, minced garlic, and of course that wonderful red pepper paste. And this right here is our red pepper flakes. And here's our awesome soy sauce. And those two brands, you can't miss them. And then we've got down here our onion and our potato. And right here, of course, our beautiful, plump, outstanding drummies. And I'm using a breast. Traditionally, they'll use dark meat with this dish, but I put a breast in there just to make it a little healthier and also to give you a little variation of texture. We're going to start right now and put all these things together, and let's get busy. Okay, so I'm going to start with a pot right here, and I'm going to go ahead and start braising my products. Braising is a process where we take the chicken and any of the items that we've chopped up or are using for our sauce, and we kind of make sure we sear them at a high heat because it adds a different flavor to the meal. And then they slow cook in moisture, which in this case is going to be the sauce we make with those ingredients, in the pot after we braise the chicken. Okay, we're going to start with addressing the prep. This is a diced green chili. As you can see, the chilies there. You'll see I've left these out here. The reason I've left these out is because these are what you call the Camden and the seed veins. You don't need those in the chilies. You want to pull those out of the chili and then dice. The next thing we have here is the green onions. Now I use from about right up to here up, and then I'll trim the tops and get rid of those wilted pieces. And then you get, this is for your garnish for the end of the meal. And then right here, what we have here is a full cup and a quarter cup. You're going to need that for the soy sauce and also for measurements for the rest of the ingredients. Your sauce ingredients are 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, and remember this recipe just by quarter cup. Quarter cup of minced garlic, quarter cup of the beautiful and tasty sungchang red chili pepper paste, and then of course our red pepper flakes, or powder rather, And then here's that again, that wonderful soy sauce, the Chungyang naturally brewed soy sauce there. These two I would highly recommend to make your braised spicy chicken. And then we have onions at a very heavy chop, and then potatoes. Now we're going to use the potatoes last because the potatoes, these will be way too soft by the end of the process. So we're going to introduce the potatoes at the end. So we'll boil those separately till they're al dente, and then we will add them to the sauce about 10-15 minutes before we pull it. The potato is very, very important because this adds the thickness to the sauce at the end. Now, as you can see here, I've added just a little bit of oil. There's only a little oil, as you can see. It's probably about a couple tablespoons. I have that oil in there because even though the chicken is so much fattier on the dark side, I still want to add that wonderful sizzle to my chicken and get that braised effect. We're not looking to cook the chicken like this. We're just looking to braise it. And certainly at a high heat, you're going to get a lot of feedback. So make sure you got deep tongs and you can constantly turn these pieces of chicken over. And you'll get these nice little, just this caramelizing effect on the skin. And of course the chicken will leave the flavor in the pan as well. As you can see, the chicken is being nicely braised now. It's got a good color on the skin. We're getting that pink color on the white meat surrounding the bone, starting to sweat a little. As you can see, there's a little blood coming out there. That's a really good sign that your braising process is almost over. I've also gone ahead and chopped up this wonderful chicken breast I have. I'm going to introduce that into the dish. And I'm going to move that around a little because I'm getting ready to add my sauce. And when I get ready to add my sauce, we'll go ahead and finish adding the last ingredients just to get a braising in with that as well. It's really, really coming along nicely now. I'm not going to add any seasoning to this yet because my sauce has more than enough seasoning for that. I'm going to introduce the onions now. You can see I put a little bit of the white green onion in there. That's optional. But I'm going to put the onions in there now and get those seared in with the chicken. And the chicken's really going to take on the flavor of that onion as well. And it's really going to be just a magnificent once we... Okay, we're ready to go ahead and make our sauce while that's simmering. We're going to go ahead and take our brown sugar, put that in there. We're going to go ahead and take our garlic, and we're going to put that in there. Then we're going to go ahead and take our red pepper chili flakes. We're going to put those in there. And then finally, this beautiful, amazing paste. We're just going to put that red pepper chili paste in the mix, and we're going to mix all that up, and that's just going to be amazing. Okay, next thing we're going to do is add some water. We're going to add 2 cups. Here's the second cup right there. And then we're going to just go ahead, we're going to take our whisk, and we're going to whisk this beautiful sauce together, like so. You just want to make sure we get all that paste all diluted into the water mixture and everything's mixed evenly. And then, while this beautiful chicken is braising, here we go, people. The introduction of the next process of cooking, moisture. Oh, that looks beautiful, doesn't it? That looks amazing. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to start moving that around now. And, you know, one of the things that you're going to want to have with this dish, once it gets to the point where it needs to, is you're definitely going to want to have rice. And I've already started my rice, and this is going to take about a good 40 minutes to develop in the pot. So start your rice about 20 minutes into it, so that when your rice is done, your dish is done, and you can put it all together at once. I've also, as you can see, put the potatoes in a boil now, and we're just going to go ahead and boil those until they're, like I said, 2/3 of the way done. And when we go back to this again, we'll see the moisture's risen to about this level in the pot. It'll be a very beautiful braising dish. And if we need to add a little more liquid, we will, but for the most part, this is exactly where it needs to be. We'll put a lid on the pot and we'll let it sit there for the next 20 to 30 minutes. and then we will introduce the potatoes. And don't forget the most incredible ingredient, the soy sauce. Again, like I said, you want to always use a quarter cup. A quarter cup is your ticket. Quarter cup of soy sauce, quarter cup of pepper flakes, quarter cup of the hot chili pepper paste, the red chili pepper paste, and a quarter cup of the garlic, all in this wonderful and amazing sauce. Okay, let's go have a look at how this is doing. Oh, you know, that smell is just, it's miraculous. I once went to a really, really good friend of mine's house on the south side of Chicago, and they've got Koreatown there. And his wife made such an amazing meal for us. And I have to tell you, when I walked into the house, the smells, the aromas from that cooking, it really does right now, it really does, making this dish remind me of that meal that evening. And it's cool because, you know, when you're making food like this, memories come with food. And aromas, you know, like maybe when you walk outside one day, you remember, oh, that reminded me of when I walked, you know, with my first love, or I had my first day out with my father, or something like that. Food is no different. You smell that flavor and you reminisce about the last time you smelled something like that. And this dish really just fills the house with an amazing aroma of culinary delight straight from Korea. All right, we're going to introduce our chilies now, those diced chilies I was telling you about. We're going to introduce those and put those in there. We didn't put them in the beginning because we didn't want them to become too mashed up in the braising process. So we're going to put those in it now. And this is really just going to add another dimension of heat to the dish. Okay, let's go ahead and have a look at that. Oh, looks wonderful. All right, I've drained the potatoes, like I said. Now I'm going to go ahead and add them to the spicy braised chicken. And we're going to go ahead and get those sunken into the dish. As I said before, the potatoes are only 3/4 of the way cooked, so we're about 10 minutes away from really enjoying this dish. You can see the sauce is beginning to reduce, the meat's falling off the bone. A real good indicator that the meat is ready is when you see that the meat is actually pulling away from the bone like that, you see? You can see that's happening over here too. So, we've got about another 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes. The potatoes will, of course, add to the thickness of the sauce and make the sauce almost so thick that it just sticks to the chicken. We are almost in business. Keep it on a slow simmer, low heat, don't have it too high, and we'll come back to it shortly. Alright, here is the moment of truth. We look at this sauce, look at the potato. Oh, this is ready, folks. This is ready. Okay, so typically when we use rice, we are actually going to use a very short grain rice because the Koreans love their rice as a short grain. So you'll see that if you make the rice properly, the rice is going to become so dense that you'd need a spoon to get it out. And that's where we're at here. So we're getting ready to plate this up. So as you can see, the rice is on the plate. I'm using a round white bowl to really make the presentation dramatic. Being a chef, I can't help it. I want to make the food look very tantalizing. But, you know, in a Korean home cooking meal here, they would just put a bowl of rice out and in some cases mix the rice with the chicken. But I'm just showing you how I would present it. It is a beautiful, beautiful flavor right now in the kitchen, folks. You can smell it. We're going to go ahead and just put a couple of these on there. My friend Robert, like so, from Food in Korea Drama, you asked amazing. For this. You got it. Just amazing. It's awesome. Almost don't want to dab that sauce up. In fact, you know what? I'm not going to. And then I'm going to grab some potatoes from this and some white meat. Just drag that